And we're staying very much with political matters on this next segment. Speaking of which, our next guest has dominated political talking points in the last couple of weeks following his sudden resignation from President Tinubu's cabinet, if you like. He's a former senior special assistant to President Bola Tinubu on public affairs. He says he's very incensed at the lack of competition, space for competitive politicking within the All Progressives Congress. And he's in fact not happy with what he says is President Tinubu's expression of delight at the disarray in the opposition parties. Mr. Aide joins us now. He's also the pioneer of the APC Rebirth movement. Mr. Aide, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
And since resigning from your position, there have been some more developments in the All Progressives Congress. Remember the resignation over the weekend of the national chairman of the party. From where you stand, and this is also coming, by the way, after the ruckus in the Northeast following the announcement of the endorsement of President Tinubu for 2027 without mentioning the name of the vice president in that announcement. So from where you see it, how are you taking in developments within the party following your resignation?
Oh yes, I think it's heading in the right direction. The resignation of the national chairman is a welcome development. I mean, a little late, but I mean, it's never too late to correct our past and set the tone for the future. What I think has been most disturbing about the APC in the past months, not even weeks, I mean, leading to my resignation is a deafening silence within the party, over some actions of Mr. President or the ruling class, that are not quite in alignment with the tenets of democracy or progressivism. And I mean, I believe we have gotten to a point as a people where I mean, it can be for the fear of what we are going to eat. It can be for the fear of our children's food or our parents' safety. For us to be quiet in the face of oppression or in the face of falsehood, promotion, and I mean, national destruction. We've been through issues like this before as a people, and the reason why we are here is simply because the right things were not done. So we must pull ourselves together and get to a point where we are courageous enough, we are honest, most importantly, then courageous enough to do the right thing. We might not necessarily get the desired result, but if we set that tone and it becomes a culture, it becomes a way of life, that as Nigerians we will always put our best forward, but we will question even the best. And I mean, democracy is a participatory, what's it called? Process. We need to be involved both internally and on the outside. We need to encourage competition, and the best of our men and women in the APC can't even come out to run. They are not afraid of not winning, but they are afraid of being trampled upon. I mean, you have your savings and you made up your mind to. It's a big step. It's actually a sacrificial role, if we like to put it, but most people don't get it. Say you want to go and run for councillor, for House of Assembly, for local government chairman, for House of Reps, for Senate, for governor, for president, for whatever it is you're going to run for, you're putting yourself up for leadership position. It's a sacrifice, and it's essential, it's very important. But in a case where we have a bunch of self-serving political elite in all of the parties who have a list of people they think should make the next elective list, then it's no longer democracy, because they know who they want. I mean, we know what happened in Lagos with the primary local government primary election that just happened. I mean, they're still dealing with the aftermath. If you let people make their decisions, whether internally or externally, the chances are that the people will be comfortable with the outcome. I think that's what we just need to push for. So, democracy is the highest level of human semblance of gift of God to man, which is freedom of choice, you know, which basically it's a divine gift from God, the ability for man to be able to choose between left and right, what is not. So if we don't allow that to happen in democracy, whether internally or on the general stage, then we're not just doing ourselves disadvantage. We are ruining our nation and the hope of the future generation.
So if the resignation of the now former national chairman is supposed to address these challenges that you are talking about, isn't the president's position on this, because there are reports, even though there are hushed tones about the reason for his resignation, there are reports that Mr. President is somewhat behind the scenes. So isn't this a demonstration of Mr. President's commitment to some form of uprightness, contrary to your public criticism of President Tinubu?
Oh yes, it is. I mean, I don't know what his reasons are, but I mean, I will only evaluate information based on what is put out. I'm not a fan of a hearsay. You know, we need to put away hearsay. See, if there's anything, I've been close to national government since 2015, since we won the election in 2015, and I was in government for nearly 2 years. If there's anything I think we are lacking at this stage, is transparency. We need, I mean, and that's very essential in the search for the next set of leaders in Nigeria, not just at presidential level, but at every level. We need a president, we need a governor, we need a senator, we need a rep member that can be assessed, not just by his kitchen cabinet, not just by his cabinet, but by the entire leadership team, you know, because these are your antennas, these are your receptors, you know, they are not just, I mean, it's not a one-way flow of information. You're not ordering, it's military when it makes it like order. You go on there, you order, you go on TV, you broadcast the orders of your principal, and I mean, however else you want to put it, like decree. I mean, you must carry feedback back from the people, back to your president, and be able to, you know, if he doesn't have to change his position, but he has to know what the people are saying, and he has to know what you feel about what he's done and what the people are saying. And you know, because leaders are usually blessed with wisdom, when you have all of these options. I mean, there are usually like 256 valid options to every scenario, every situation. You know, you just need to pick the right one that is apt for the context at the time and for the people. I mean, we've said it time and time again, life is a people at a time. We are not living for the people of the past. We can't keep living in the past. You know, we need to live for now so we can make enough arrangement for the people of tomorrow. In a case where the president, the leader, is not accessible, it's a problem. So it's going to be difficult to make it a thing that the president become accessible. So first thing first, we look for someone who wants to be accessible as a leader, someone who believes that you know, succession for him is an ideology. Succession from him is a system. Succession for him is a culture, not a person, not a, you know, you're not going to think about your succession, you're thinking about the individual you're handing over to. No, you must be handing over to a system, because that system must be able to group varieties of leaders who will all know their role in the next, I mean, in the succession plan. We all can't be in the same position, but sometimes he might just be the house cleaner in the house who enjoys the most. It doesn't mean he's least important. We need to get used to that. We need to celebrate every position. We need to appreciate every man. And we need to appreciate collaboration and encourage it. This is what, you know, we should be looking out for. Yes, the president has, I mean, I don't even want to give him the credit, because the statement outside does not, the credit for what has happened does not belong to the president. It belongs to Ganduje. You know, because giving President the Ganduje for his resignation is expecting people to thank President for my resignation too, or be angry with him for my resignation. People have been angry with me. People have appreciation. People have said all sorts. I've seen all sorts of reaction for my resignation. But yeah, it's my decision, and I'm in a position to receive all of that. So I think, I mean, I'll give the credit to Ganduje for resigning, because his resignation, not a sack. So knowing that, I mean, if for his health or for any other reason, he does not belong there and he has left, we must honor that, and we must encourage that people who know they are out of place, out of tune, you know, should exit and excuse themselves for the right people to come in so we can all move together. I mean,
all right, Mr. Audu.
The man who leaves might be the better beneficiary or the best beneficiary of the system after all.
All right, so a few more questions from my end. First, from what you have said, are you saying that whilst you served as an aide to the president in terms of public affairs, which simply means that maybe you get briefing and then you share with the rest of the people, the citizens, as to what government is doing in terms of their activities, programs, and policy, you did not have access to the president?
No, I didn't.
I didn't get that.
No, I did not have access to him. I mean, not say in passing, hello, hi. No, I mean, sit and have a conversation, knowing that, like I am having with you now, I'm saying I didn't for my entire period of service in the villa.
And why do you think that was?
Because he doesn't want to be rich. It's simple. Any leader who wants to be rich will be rich. He knows me, I know him. He knows his team. I'm not the only one who hasn't had access to him. We had Dr. Baba Akim Mohammed, that is special advisor. I mean, he's special advisor economy. He might be in the office of vice president or wherever, but I mean, those are people you should meet with. You can't be talking about, it's a big step in the reform. Economic reform is right, it's big. You know, if you're not meeting with these people, who are you meeting with? I mean, it means we are running from a script that exists only in your head. And if it's in your head, how are we supposed to know what next is expected of me? I mean, he is nearly 80. The nation cannot grow at the president's pace. We need to grow faster. We lose about 25 people every day to hunger. That's what the global statistics says. It takes about 14 days for anyone who hasn't eaten to die. It means, I mean, even if 24 hours to the time you are going to die, if you have hope of eating for another 48 or 72 hours, you pull yourself up to be alive till the food comes. So it simply means that we have 20 to 25 people every day in this part of the country who who know they are about to die. Hunger is about to kill them and they have no hope of survival. It's a shame on all of us. So that has to be our target, to fix that. And whatever has to be done, has to be done. We must put our best foot forward. We must assemble the best team. We must entrench the best culture. We must entrench the best organizational skills. I have worked in the private sector. I worked in MTN when Telco came. I worked briefly with Intercontinental Bank. I mean, I worked with V-Mobile as a contract staff at some point. I've seen corporate organization. I lived the formation stage of my life in Lagos. I've interacted with the system. We have credible people. We have exceptional people in terms of corporate management. We have people who are gifted, people who have experience, who know, who can, manage our resources and deliver for every single citizen of the country and the future generation. But the only way this happens if we allow for healthy competition, where one man is not afraid of others shining. We are a galaxy of stars. One star shining should not stop the other. Every star should be able to see himself as an audience in a star show of another star. I mean, we watch the NBA All-Stars, we see the Sean Carter, Jay-Z, the Beyonce, the Nas and all of them sit by the courtside to watch the likes of LeBron James and the likes. And I mean, it's star watching stars. This I pass my neighbor mentality that we've inherited. We've got to ditch it.
So, Mr. Audu, is it a question of the president's refusing access to you and maybe other persons, or, the presidency is an institution, an institution has its pattern. Is it him not allowing access, or it is people around him not allowing access? Because you have to place the blame where it's appropriate.
And the buck stops where?
You have the answers.
Where does the buck stops? Exactly. So, I mean, if you look at these people, he appointed them, not you, not me. He's responsible for them ultimately. If they do well, it's his credit. If they don't do well, it's his discredit. I mean, it's him ultimately. If you realize that, I mean, I'm president, it's been 6 months. I haven't seen a minister of mine, apart from seeing him at FEC. It's been 4 months. I haven't had a one-to-one with my Minister of Environment, Minister of Water, Minister of Agriculture. I mean, you have to make a periodic, plan for periodic engagement with your lieutenants. You need to even assess them, what they are doing. I'll tell you this, before the formation of APC Rebirth, we had what we call NCAN. NCAN is Nigeria Consolidation Ambassadors Network. We were responsible for the purchase of re-election form of former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. The NCAN started in 2017, but before then, in 2016 ended, we had formed what we call internally displaced politicians, just what Mr. President referred to as political IDPs. We were we called ourselves internally displaced politicians, IDPs. you know, because we were young, bright people who just came in from the private sector. We were hungry. Yeah, we were hungry to be part of national development because we knew what needed to be done and we believe we could do it. We have the faith. We believe in ourselves. And we see all of the other people outside who are not with us, who we know at the right time will build a bridge, will build network and bring them on board. And we all come to the table together and design and implement and preserve a nation that's worthy of our time on earth. But that didn't happen. We saw this election by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, delayed, and we started asking all sorts of questions. We couldn't get anything. I mean, at some point, just like this, a few of us believe, it was not impossible to remove President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019. If I don't believe that any president can be removed, how do I believe in democracy? You know, every 4 years election itself is a coup. It's just not the etat. You know, coup is every 4 years we organize a coup to either confirm a leader or change a leader. Leadership change is a coup. It's very normal, it's very legal. It's only when it's the etat that is a problem. If we do not individually and collectively design a situation and create an environment where the people can choose and replace and confirm their leaders at every chosen time, then what position are we to talk about military juntas in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger? No, we're not. Well, that's simply it.
Very interesting analogy you used there. So it's some sort of organized coup every 4 years.
Yeah, it is.
You believe that President Bola Tinubu, we should be able to remove him and say, well, we don't want you for a second term. And we'll talk to that, what to look out for in 2027, because obviously you're really passionate about that. But I'm just very curious, with this unpopular position that you have taken, you had dined, not with the president, but you dined with the presidency, those in power. And this is the same you coming out to say, well, I didn't like all the things that were playing out. Almost an opposition, internally displaced. Maybe you can describe yourself. Because you're still a member of the APC, right? But you've resigned from the presidency. So with this unpopular position you've taken, do you get threats? I imagine you probably get, or maybe not, you can confirm. What kind of heat comes with this position that you have taken? Because it looks like you're doing a lot of harm, particularly because you are an insider as well.
No, on the contrary, not a single threat. You see, the truth of the matter is we need to normalize light. You know, when there is light, darkness has no place. That's a fact. It takes a lot of time for some of us to come to terms with that. But when you do, you finally realize that you have it. You know, and there's nothing. Light, no matter how small, can't be afraid of the largest or the biggest size or the biggest darkness. No, you can't. Light is light. You're not afraid of that. I'm not going against anybody. I'm building a nation that I think is going to be better than what I inherited from my father, and it's going to be worthy of what I can bequeath to my children. And I don't think anyone should have any problem with that. But if you make yourself a problem, I won't have a problem going through you. It's you who should be afraid of me, not the other way around. So I don't think so. And there have been a lot of concerns from my loved ones and friends who are basically concerned about your well-being, how you go. But for those of them who are close to me, a lot of them thought I was crazy when I resigned from MTN Nigeria in 2015 to run for local government. You know, I didn't win. I got a job in Accra, good job, but I resigned to come back to the politics in 2016, first or second quarter. They thought I was crazy. They actually told me to my face I was crazy. It's normal. If you're not crazy, you haven't lived.
Oh, so you're known for taking crazy decisions, but I love the light analogy yet again. So now that you are trying to rebuild or rebirth the APC, some will say that's really tough. First off, the APC has, people who gave birth to it in that sense, the president, one of them. And this is you trying to rebirth the APC. So does that mean the APC has become some sort of stillbirth? Is it really challenged in that sense? What exactly are you trying to rebirth in the APC? Are you able to stand against those who gave birth to the APC? And these people are quite powerful. A lot of people describe the president, for example, as a very smart politician. Is that what you're going to go against? You said that if anybody stands against you, you can go through them. So are you able to go through these powers in the APC and rebirth the kind of APC that you desire?
Oh yes, that's you know, that's not non-negotiable one. Then prior to that, we bettered the APC, not just Mr. President, all of us. You know, I mean, in terms of what we gave up, I mean, the opportunity forgone in 2013 to align ourselves day and night, spend our resources, spend our time, spend our energy in assembling young people under the leadership of Barrister Ismail Ahmed. You know, we travel around, we use around the country, we use our funds, our own personal money. Sometimes we didn't. You know, I don't even like road trip because our roads are not safe. But I've had to, because of politics. You can't be flying when others are on the road. Sometimes you don't even have the money to fly. You go on the road. It's a political activity. People don't understand the amount of sacrifice politicians have to make. I agree. It's not appreciated enough. I agree, but the moment you decided to lead is because you've seen what your people don't see, and you think you are able to paint it and make them feel it. So whatever challenges, whatever sacrifice comes with it, you've got to be able to take it. And just like I mean, I can say 12 years later now that president isn't the only mother or the father that gave birth. We all did, and there were a number of young people who did. You know, the sheer amount of young people we had while we were joining APC in 2013 was encouraging, because in there I saw like 3-4 people I knew from my university days that were people I would go to war with, I would go to anywhere, I would go to party with, I would go to war with, I would do anything with any day. I saw them there, and in 2013, I mean, we didn't talk about this, we didn't have any prior conversation. We just met at the garden, and I saw a number of people. I'll tell you, like, there was an event we did, was it 2013, the first mini congress we did at the Transcorp Hilton, when APYF met with the former Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, for the first time after their defection. Okay, that would be 2014. Yeah, that was after their defection or something. You see, we got there, and there were a lot of young people. I mean, these are young people that prior to that time, I mean, from 2009, when Twitter came really alive, they were very active on Twitter. I'm talking about I mean, we had Banks Omishore, we had Omojowa, we had Tolu Ogulesi, Shegu Dada, Ayobami, the Godfather, Ife Adebayo, Mo Brahima. I mean, these are people who naturally, when you look at them, they can be comfortable where they are. It will be easy for them to relocate and go be earning some $12,000 per month anywhere in the world, and they'll be comfortable there. But they want to be home. They want to be counted among the people who build their nation when it's being counted. They don't want to be seen as people who go to eat where food is already made. What story will you be writing for yourself if you are seen to? I mean, if we don't have this challenge right now as a people, when our story is being written as a generation, what should be said? That we came to eat on food that was cooked by others, and we're not able to make for the people coming after us.
So, Mr.
A multitude of this type of young people who are in the APC, who my consultation with prior to my resignation, and the generation of leaders that we actually really respect that are ahead of us, my consultation with them showed that it was the right thing, and they are with us. And at the right time, the world will understand that the APC will clean itself, you know, and the credit will belong to Mr. President. Quite frankly, because imagine a Democrat like Mr. President, who has been seen as a promoter of democratic value and democracy all his life, rising to the power and organizing a keenly, fairly, and well-planned primary election in the history of Nigeria. That credit will go to him. Then he does one, and I mean, whoever emerges, whether him or somebody else, the fact that everybody can, confirm that this has been fair, this has been credible, and this has been clean, credit goes to him. If he does the same thing in national general election, give INEC the freedom he has always pushed for as an opposition leader. Let INEC be able to have the true independence they ought to have. I mean, he should not even stop at what used to be done. He should do better. There are things about, okay, should INEC chairman be elected? In what way will he be considered fair by all? Because if we do not build faith in the electoral system, I like to say this, that I would disappoint many Nigerians to say that nobody has won presidential election from 1990 that should not have won. None. I mean,
right.
we should have had better options on the ballot, yet. We should have had better options on the ballot at each instance, yes. But it is not easy to rig a national election. The first way to rig a national election is to ensure that you are the only available political party nationally, which was what PDP did for a long time, and we were all against it, including the current president. So him doing that right now means that he wasn't against it for the good of all, he was against it for the good of self. And the rest of us must take the position he took yesterday and demand the 2025 version of what he demanded in 92.
All right, your commitment is undeniable. But just before we leave your APC rebirth ambition, a lot of people have been endorsing the president, members of the National Assembly, governors. We've even seen defections. So they're all in agreement that the best thing that has happened to Nigeria since sliced bread is Mr. President. How are you going to be able to topple that with your APC rebirth movement? Because you seem to be currently a lone voice in the wilderness.
I'm not really a lone voice. Just, I mean, it's just the one crazy enough to be talking now until everybody catches on the fever. I mean, you remember clearly at the very early stage, I was one of the first people who came out to say the current Mr. President is the right one for us as of 2023. You know, I mean, he was and still is. If you run election today for someone who, if we had a mid-term election and you had to run today, I doubt if there's anybody who is prepared to do better than him, either at the polls or in governance. You know, but between now and 2027 is enough time to beam the searchlight on not just the political elite, but the entire class of leaders in private sector, in public offices, in even local areas. We know, in our society, we know people who have led, who are inspiring, who are impacting society without necessarily being about naira and kobo. I mean, I'm not against money. Money brings certain level of comfort, yes, but money isn't everything. We need to create value for where this money are supposed to store. I mean, currency, for what we're told in school, is a store of value. I like to ask ourselves, what value are we storing as a people? Is it tribalism? Is it backbiting? Is it I pass my neighbor? Is it the one that the man takes money that is meant to provide the electricity and he goes to hospital and complain and he saw someone at the hospital? Meanwhile, he has taken for electricity. The guy who takes for transport is complaining for INEC. The guy who takes for INEC is complaining for education. I mean, we can't. No, at some point, there were less than 25 million that decided the last election. From the data we have, over nearly 70 million registered. That's a failure already. You know, we have a project we are starting. It's called Register to Vote, Vote to Live. You know, we are encouraging young people 55 and above to be participatory in the democracy.
We'll see how that plays out. I'd like to quickly get this one through before we run out of time. You mentioned moments ago that you also contested the local government election in the FCT, but you lost before your appointment. And you've been talking about how FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has also hijacked the political structure and threatening people to defect to the APC. If not, they'll not have their forms signed by a national secretary. Did your resignation also stem from this? Because you've attributed the victory of Mr. President in the FCT to yourself, that you are instrumental to it. So is your resignation also partly due to the political structure in the FCT being pulled from your feet?
All right. First, if Mr. President didn't win the FCT, it's not new. I mean, I'm a contributory factor to the overall victory.
Your local government, rather.
Like millions of
not
other
the
APC.
Entire FCT.
Like millions of other APC, well-meaning Nigerians, card-carrying APC members around the country who felt he was the best person for us, and rightly so. And I mean, yes, I ran for local government chairman in 2015. You know, I didn't win. You know, but I was impressed with my performance, and I was impressed with the process that I supported it. I stood with it. You know, there were plans to do things that were not, I mean, we followed through until the right thing was done. We went through the primaries the way it should be, and the guy won. They didn't want it. They were going to remove it, but we stood our ground. I was at the forefront of that. I led that. We stood our ground in the party secretariat until the guy became the, candidate and the running mate we wanted to have. They wanted to change. We didn't let. We got the running mate we wanted. I mean, it was simple at the time. The highest scoring candidate was a northerner, and it was in an environment like Abuja, you would expect that there should be some sort of balance in electing leaders. So we told ourselves, like, Amak was too metropolitan to have it looking like either a northern thing or a southern thing, or or one religious thing. So among us, the aspirant, under the leadership of the guy who won, said, he would want this guy, and we realized that, okay, the guy was actually the best guy because he was the highest performing non-northern, non-Muslim aspirant in the election. He was Honorable Lawrence Onochukwu at the time. So the guys didn't like, the people who opposed him at the party secretariat, funny enough, were Igbos. They were the Igbo leaders at the party secretariat who wanted to bring someone who was not even known in Abuja politics to take that position. But we stood our ground and we won the election. We're in the opposition.
Well, Mr.
We won the election.
This is a very interesting walk down memory lane. But because of time,
so in this time, what has happened here is that in the same APC, same AMAC, we have a number of colleagues of mine who are in party who wanted to run.
All right.
Have been doing everything since, but the wiki has now gone to bring my Kalangu Christopher, the sitting local government chairman who was in PDP, took him to national chairman, compelled him to get the state chairman to make him a member of the APC, and told him if he wants to be re-elected, he has to come with the APC. And he tells these people like he's talking with the authority of Mr. President.
Well,
I cannot speak for that, rightly or wrongly. But the fact that he uses a state power that is assigned and approved by the President to do that, the President takes the fall.
We're totally out of time, Mr. Aldo, and it will be good to also hear from the FCT minister's side regarding this, because these are very weighty issues. But there are those, and we have just about a minute to go. There are those who see your name, Aldo, and they think, wait a minute, is it the same Aldo? Is your brother a minister? Are you playing a script? What exactly is going on here?
No, I'm Aldo from Okene. My father was a simple muazzin. Before he passed on, he was a normal, he was a peasant. So, I mean, it's not late Prince Aldo. He was our beloved political leader from the early 90s when Kogi was created till he passed on. It's the leader, I don't think Kogi has beaten his record as a governor of Kogi State till date, but I'm not from his lineage. His kids are my brothers, from Mustafa to Ali, who bears my name, to the minister. We're family, we're friends, we're brothers. That's how we relate, and that's our generation thing. We are together, and we wouldn't want the generations who have corrupted their own days to corrupt our own. Simple.
All right, Mr. Aldo, thank you so much for these clarifications and, of course, for your contributions on the program. The coming days will be quite telling about those who will be more crazy enough, as you have said, to start speaking as you have begun speaking. And we look forward to another conversation with you. We've been talking with Mr. Aliu Audu, a former senior special assistant to President Tinubu on public affairs. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
And there's more political discussions coming up, but this time we'll be zeroing in on the electoral space. How healthy is it, especially ahead of 2027? Stay with us. We'll be right back.